Located in the heart of London's Regents Park, the open-air theatre has been staging productions since 1932 and is the only permanent outdoor theatre in Britain. This year's season of shows includes Much Ado About Nothing, starring Samantha Spiro and Sean Campion, The Tempest, reimagined for everyone over the age of 6, Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest, and the musical Hello, Dolly. WhatsOnStage.com recently met with Timothy Sheader to find out more about his second season as artistic director of the Open Air Theatre.
Shakespeare is the obvious playwright. I think if you probably did this interview around the world, Shakespeare would be the most performed playwright outside, largely because his plays were written to be outside or to be in the open air, and they were written for without stage trappings. There were no flies, there were no trucks coming on and off. But they were also written for daylight. That most plays were performed in full daylight at Rose and the Globe, and fantastically and amazingly, he is still one of our greatest British cultural icons. And 400 years later, people still want to see the plays. Musical theatre is not obvious for this theatre because that was written for scenic drops, scenic decor, a change of location in every scene. The musical theatre needs to be reimagined, just as you're reimagining La Cage aux Folles for the Chocolate Factory. Any musical here has to be reimagined because of the circumstances. Comedy seems the right, because of daylight, because you can't control the light, comedy feels more right than darker plays. That's something I want to explore. I don't think that is strictly true. I think Much Ado About Nothing works perfectly well here, but I also intend to direct Richard III here, and Henry V, and other plays not by Shakespeare. One particular great play of the 20th century that I hope to do next year, which is a thriller. And I'm in a moment trying to figure out what the light situation is going to bring to that, and what other techniques I can use to focus an audience other than light. You have to rediscover it for outdoors, and for that, any play you direct, you have to your responsibility as a director is to rediscover it and tell the story for that audience in that theatre at that time of year or that month. That's your job, to reimagine it for the brief, as it were. And certainly here the brief is very specific. That's not to say that we don't have large sets or props or scenery as any other theatre, but they have to be imagined in a different way. Much Ado About Nothing, I decided to play Elizabethan because of the gender politics, but I didn't want it to be a pure Elizabethan production. So the production is it's rooted in Elizabethan England, but the music, the staging, the costumes are not authentic. Tempest is being reimagined for everyone aged 6 and over, which starts next week, which we're very excited about. It's only Shakespeare's language. It's an hour-long version it's an hour and a half long version with a 20-minute prologue at the beginning, which introduces the characters, the themes, the story for younger audiences whose first experience of theatre, and certainly Shakespeare, I'm sure. That's followed by Importance of Being Earnest, which is the first time that the theatre's done a straight play by anyone other than Mr. Shakespeare for over 20 years. Again, being reimagined for this space. No Victorian drawing room, no box set. It's being reimagined for open air, for big epic stage. And then season finishes with Hello, Dolly, which I'm working on with Stephen Mear. The two of us did Gigi together last year and enjoyed that very much. And Dolly seems a fine musical to move on to. So that's kind of the highlight of the season.
As well as Regents Park, there are many other places to enjoy outdoor theatre throughout the summer months. Other key open-air hotspots in the capital include Bankside landmark Shakespeare's Globe, modelled on the Elizabethan original, and the free Scoop Theatre season, now running for its 7th year in the amphitheatre situated next to City Hall by Tower Bridge. This summer, as part of its Young Hearts season, the Globe is staging Shakespeare's As You Like It, Romeo and Juliet, and Troilus and Cressida, Euripides' Helen, and premiering A New World, an eagerly anticipated new play by Trevor Griffiths commemorating the 200th anniversary of the death of British revolutionary Thomas Paine. And at the Scoop, theatregoers can enjoy another Euripides Greek classic, Medea, and a new family musical of the adventures of Jason and the Argonauts.